Welcome back, everyone. We are getting right back underway with this next series. We're staying in the East, the 3 seed of Northeastern versus the 14 seed of Xavier. We have seen 2 very close best of 7s, including one of the only best of 7 reverse sweeps in the CCS championship tournament. And we just saw another, and now we're staying in the same region. I mean, how do you think both these teams feel after seeing that?
I gotta feel pretty good. I feel like you just watched the 2 seed in your own region kind of struggle a little bit. Northeastern's really confident after how things opened up for Radford, but now again you still have to deal with Xavier here if you're Northeastern. But Xavier, if they can find an upset here and continue their run, you can play 7 or 10 seed Rutgers or Connecticut, and then it could be Radford or maybe one of those other 2. But again, this feels like maybe a tougher battle than what's to come in the rest of the bracket.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be really interesting. Obviously, Xavier in their first CCS National Championship tournament. I mean, it's good to see them here. Obviously, Galaxy was extremely hyped to be able to get his team in here. Now a big miss from Northeastern. Harlequin will get back in time. That's a big opportunity missed for the Musketeers to get things started, but it's good to see Xavier here. Obviously, Northeastern have had themselves a solid season, and they're really looking to continue that run here in this tournament.
That they ours. Now we've had 14 games so far and 2 scares of an upset, but the higher seed is coming out on top so far in both of them. But 14 games is 14 games, Jonas, and again, the last game, as bad as it was through the course of that was probably one of the craziest series we ever had the pleasure to call together, and that was a lot of fun. But now back to this series. I mean, Galaxy coming in was really excited to be playing in this tournament. We'll see what the Musketeers can do.
I mean, you said we had the pleasure to call it. I mean, some of it was pleasure. Some of it was just jaw drop. I don't know what in the world is happening, but this is one of those other matches that you look at it on paper and you think that it's most likely going to be a solid win for the high seed of Northeastern. But I mean, if tonight has proved anything, is that you cannot trust what the paper says. This could go any which way.
Yeah, Northeastern's going to find the first Angebro. 2:39 to go. Half the first for the Huskies.
Old man Angebro getting on the board here. Harlequin, good toss up, and he is able to knock it down. And he says no mid game, but yeah, Carta is Galaxy. By the way.
Well, halftime here in game number 1, and what's the key to victory for Xavier and Galaxy tonight?
I mean, ultimately, Northeastern is a team that they're relatively solid, but they do make mistakes that you really can take advantage of. You just got to be quick enough and ready enough to take advantage. And Xavier, they need to stay quick. They need to try and make Northeastern a little bit more uncomfortable, maybe get a little bit physical with them. Ultimately, just try and punish those mistakes. We saw, of course, a big double commit and a miss early on, and the Musketeers weren't quite able to jump on it. And now they're going to be looking to, of course, take advantage of that as this series goes on. But it's going to be a tough one for the Musketeers for sure.
2 minutes to go here in game number 1, and Northeastern still leading 1-0. Now south of 100 seconds. And for me, Jonas, in this series, obviously Northeastern heavy favorite, but tonight the underdogs have put up a strong fight. They've sent a series to Game 7 in back-to-back attempts, but still no upset yet. The Cinderella Slippers have not been double-knotted.
Yeah, we haven't seen really anyone kind of step things up so far, which does seem really interesting. But that being said, I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, again, we've seen that crazy things can happen. Angebro, nice fake there, gets over a scrib, but Galaxy's back in time to clear it away. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. That's another good save from Pross. Saw confused Arias try and slot that one, but yeah, it's been a night already.
It has been a night. It's been a heck of a night. So we're still not even halfway through this broadcast, and there's still 3 more games left to come. But eventually, surely we'll get back on track here. So a 20-minute delay was the start of this one.
Yeah, a little bit awkward in that sense, but hopefully we'll get back to it as confused Irish will tie things up for Xavier. It's 1-1.
The Musketeers, 41 seconds, able to equalize, and Xavier get their first goal in the tournament.
Yeah, just a big dunk on the 50 out front of the net. Andro couldn't quite get up to it with low boost, and then Confused Irish right there to take advantage. And now the Musketeers have themselves a solid chance to get game number 1 and keep a lot of the hopes alive for the low seeds.
It just feels like now at this point, Jonas, we're due. Someone's going to do it. With how the other underdogs have played in this tournament, even the 16 seeds that have fought tooth and nail in those 4-game sets, it feels like, you know, eventually someone's going to do it.
Yeah, it really does feel like someone's going to be able to take advantage, but Prosk is able to get it back for NEU. I mean, Andrebro just sends it across, and Scribb just not ready for it. It was a wide open look, and the Huskies right back out in front with 15 left to play. The Musketeers still trying to fight their way back.
15 seconds left to go. Galaxy in the backfield is slightly bumped. There's Andrew. Now an open target. The dunk is good! Carta! Wow!
What a team play here! Galaxy takes it up high, forces the miss, and Irish, what a dime, right back to Galaxy, and Xavier are still hanging in there. That's a beauty.
That might be goal of the tournament, honestly. That's gotta be up there. That's insane. That's also partially a little bit of luck, it feels like, too.
Yeah, don't tell them that. That was beautiful. It's Scribb, very dangerous touch, but overtime on the horizon here. Harlequin will set this one down. Game 1 OT already. I mean, these matches have been nothing short of incredible.
Nothing short of cinema. Here so far in the CCS Championships, our first real broadcast. 6 hours tonight. We've already been 2 hours through after a couple of delays. But now Xavier trying to become the next underdog to find a way to win.
Might have a look here. Harlequin and Andrebro both go. The clear will be made. Scribb, one touch out. Harlequin gets full boost, gets past one. Prosk, blocked by Confused Irish. This could be the breakaway opportunity. Andrebro's got low boost. He sends it into the ceiling. Prosk will get it past one. Confused Irish not going to be there for the early turn. Harlequin, big bounce off that sidewall. Galaxy to Scribb towards the corner. Andrebro should have off the backboard. 2 go. Big counter opportunity. Prosk is on it. Galaxy dives in his third, shutting things down early. Now Harlequin far side. Andrebro lurking. No boost. He's shut down.
You know whose bracket was almost insane? Had Quinnipiac won that?
Oh.
Hira.
Really?
Her bracket was almost cooking if Quinnipiac won that. She had wrapped it out in the first round as well. But 1 minute so far on the clock of overtime, and Northeastern in trouble. Irish trying to finish it is gonna be good. Xavier 1-0.
Oh my goodness, Prost just, what is he doing? He was going towards his own net, and then he misses the squishy save. Northeastern crumble in OT. What? I have no words, Nation.
Okay, what is going on with the underdogs tonight?
I mean, obviously we're seeing the underdogs play great, but also we are seeing the high seeds making mistake after mistake. The defenses have just been falling apart over and over, and according to Jesse, only one bracket picked Xavier. Was it Galaxy?
Is that bracket still perfect, Jesse?
That's a big. I mean, you would assume, I suppose, at this point,
was it submitted on time, and is it still perfect?
That is another big question. He'll take a look first, but yeah, I mean, Xavier, they take game 1, and what a game 1 it was. Prosk just, I mean, he went towards his own net. There's no other way to say it, and then missed the squishy save opportunity, and Irish got credited with the game winner. Game number 2. I mean, I talked to Northeastern before this matchup. They said they should be able to win pretty cleanly, but they did say they would throw a game or two. Not on purpose, it's just kind of how they play. And that may have been one, or that may have just been the start of everything unraveling.
Well, do you chunk that game to luck from the Xavier goal? As Prosk is going to find one here, but that lucky goal Xavier had, I mean, you chalked up to that?
I mean, I would say a lot worked out. That being the biggest thing there is Galaxy, that just being a tough save to make, and then the follow-up was just not in time, and Northeastern will get themselves one. I mean, ultimately, we have already seen that a lot can go wrong for these high seeds, and now in trouble is Harlequin. Andrebro will be able to get back to steer this one away for a moment, but yeah, I mean, anything can happen, Nation. We've already seen it, and that might just be the story of tonight's broadcast.
It might be. So, I mean, hopefully, at some point, Cinderella gets her slippers on and we get a high seed in the round of 32. That would be content. But again, these high seeds have to continue winning. Again, they want to play far into this tournament, but again, they've struggled tonight. We'll see if Northeastern can finally kind of break the curse and win in dominant fashion.
I mean, already I'm skeptical with the game 1 loss, but that being said, there's still plenty of series left. They could just take the next 4 in a gentleman's sweep. That's a good shot from Pross. Bar down, and the Huskies add on another.
2-0 Northeastern and 1 minute in. Leading by 2, their lead doubled as Irish got burned there in the overcommitted. Game 2 looking a little bit like it should be.
Yeah, looking a little bit better. You know, you're seeing early on Northeastern, you know, punishing the defense and being able to take advantage of those quick transitions, but they need to stay the course. Andrew looking for a couple touches out. He's playing the 50, gets past Galaxy. Scribb will reclaim it through the corner, loses it for a moment. Pross goes up, can't get cleanly past Galaxy. Andrew 50 Irish well. Scribb misses Harlequin. Gonna have one touch. It was looking to go to Pross, and maybe a little bit of miscommunication there, but you can see Northeastern looking a bit more comfortable now after getting those first 2 goals.
That they have been. Scribb trying to get it over that first defender, couldn't quite open up a shooting lane as Northeastern come away with possession there, but Xavier's defense can't give up anything more here in game 2 if their offense is going to have a chance to pull this one together in the second half.
Yeah, they need to lock down that defense again. And miss there from Pross. Galaxy trying to nudge it upfield, but another swift turnaround from the Huskies. Harlequin rips one on target. Galaxy will be able to deal, but Prosk is there lurking, and he's going to get himself a hat trick just outside the first 2 minutes.
2:57 and Northeastern back on top by a third, and this is starting to look ugly.
Yeah, that's just a couple times now where we've already seen Galaxy diming up Prosk in this one. We've seen just a couple tough saves. Obviously, they're tough saves to make, but the clear being also the tougher part of it. When you make a save, you gotta obviously stop the ball from getting in the net. But the second part of it is obviously getting into a situation where you're not gonna get punished. Pross fires again. Andrew will tap this one in. It's 4-0 before halftime.
They're on pace for 8 and potentially 9 here in game 2. 4-0 though. 2:42 to play. Xavier, it's all falling apart here in game 2.
And it's Carson and Miku from Texas A&M who has Xavier over Northeastern. And wow, it could still happen, but Northeastern, I mean, we're again showing why they are a 3 seed here in this second game, as they are looking much more dominant.
Halftime in game 2, 4-0. Still in hand of the Northeastern Huskies, but Xavier plays a good Big East schedule. Northeastern only really played Drexel, and they had a good non-con, but again, how does experience in the tournament for Northeastern also kind of give them the edge here against Xavier coming in for the first time?
I mean, Northeastern, they've played a lot of solid teams. I think they just have a little bit more of that experience going against those higher level competition. Obviously, last season, round 1, they faced Quinnipiac, and then they went on to face San Diego State and lose in 7. And, we've seen them compete very well. Obviously, being in the same conference as Drexel forced them to play quite literally one of the best teams in CCS, the #1 overall seed coming into this tournament. They played them multiple times. They've never been able to beat them, but they've got the experience of playing them, and sometimes that experience is more valuable than a win over a lower-ranked team.
I would absolutely agree, but 90 seconds here, Xavier, again, literally beating Villanova to really kind of get their at-large bid, kind of starting that conversation in the Big East semifinal. They played UConn somewhat close in the tournament final, but now you're faced up with the number 3 seed in Northeastern. You got to find a way to, win 3 games. You've already gotten 1, but how do you respond after getting, game 2 just not going your way?
I mean, you got to be able to. I mean, just keep the momentum going. I mean, one of the big things is staying healthy in that mental, and it's always easier said than done being able to kind of have that healthy mentality going forward. But if you're Xavier, you can just say, hey, we already won 1. We know we can do this. Just reset. Things got a little bit away from us, but we locked down this second half. Obviously, they You know, we saw Northeastern put away 4, but haven't put away anything in, you know, over 2 minutes now, and that's one of the big things that they can kind of take with a bit of good grace going forward.
23 seconds left to go here. Xavier try to find one for the road as Irish couldn't put a shot on target there. That one also broken up for Scrib, and Xavier gonna go quietly in the night here in game 2.
And I mean, this looking much more kind of like the game we were expecting going in. Obviously, Xavier did very well in game number 1, taking an OT, but seeing Northeastern dominate 4-0, a big shutout here in game number 2, much more of what we're expecting. We'll see if they can keep it up now.
On to game 3, 1-1, as Northeastern kind of get their win to level things back up, Jonas. That's a much needed win at that too.
Yeah, it very much is. I mean, that's just that's obviously a huge thing going forward, being able to kind of get that one underway. I mean, we saw it obviously in Quinnipiac versus Radford. It took Radford, you know, it took them game 4 to get that first one, and you could see it looked like things were unraveling so quickly, and Northeastern not trying to let that happen to them, obviously. So being able to stabilize after dropping the first one in OT, definitely a better look. We'll see if they can keep it going now.
And total saves for Northeastern compared to just 6 shots for the Xavier. So 4 of those shots going to go just off the mark. But, you know, for me, Jonas, Galaxy is what led them here to the tournament. He took over against Villanova. If they're going to have any chance to win the tournament, it starts with him. He's got to take over. He's got to be that man.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it. We saw Galaxy, you know, back in the Big East Conference tournament absolutely pop off versus Villanova in the conference tournament semifinals. That was a huge performance out of him, and it's part of the reason that, you know, this Xavier team is here in the tournament already, is because they were able to have that great look against Villanova, a team that they, you know, have struggled with. You know, Xavier was a team that was their first conference tournament win. You know, aside from the quarterfinal win, that was their first, you know, time in the semifinals, and that was their first semifinal win, and then, you know, went toe-to-toe with UConn.
They made it last year.
Huh?
They made it last time, too.
No, they made it to the conference tournament. Did they make it to the semifinals last year? Or
Yeah,
last
they
season?
did.
No. Well, then my point's out the window. But regardless, they did well being able to take a big win off of Nova, and, you know, they competed well with UConn. They took them to 6, did fall there, but, you know, it was a much improved, and it was a great look for this Xavier team, and that's why they're here in the tournament now, going toe-to-toe with Northeastern. It's not easy, but they've shown that they can still get games off a solid team like this.
Ross going to open the scoring back up for Northeastern, 1-0, 59 seconds in as the Huskies lead opens again.
Yeah, we'll get that early start again. That defense just falling apart a little bit. Good pressure from Northeastern early on. We'll see if they can keep it going. But again, Xavier, you got to feel that they're going to be able to fight and stick it out. You know they want to just make it to the next round and, you know, make that big upset, get another, you know, historic 3-14 upset here in the CCS National Championship Tournament, but it's still going to take a lot.
That it is. And 3:45 to play. Northeastern, though, they've kind of gotten a little bit comfortable, and I think that's kind of a good sign for them moving forward, as Xavier came in with a lot of confidence. Won game 1, you know, had some luck on their side, obviously, with the crazy goal at the end there, but, you know, it helped them get the game to start some, you know, positive morale boosting, but they haven't been able to quite transition that positive momentum into another game here. They've just kind of gotten dominated last game, and Northeastern still on a 5-0 run here.
Yeah, they're staying ahead. They're staying very safe. They're playing a lot more solid, and of course we saw the defense was in shambles a little bit. Now Harlequin eyeing a double, no, misses off the right side post. That's a break there for the Musketeers, and now looking for a counter. It's shut down early.
And Antro, the second oldest player in CCS at a ripe age of 26, finds his second.
Ripe is absolutely correct. That's just a good 50 there. Scrib could not quite reach it. It was a great drop down from Harlequin, and you're starting to see that chemistry a little bit more for Northeastern. Again, Northeastern's a bit of an interesting team because in terms of, you know, ranked MMR, they're not the highest in that caliber, and, you know, that forces a lot of teams to not respect them, but they have a lot of chemistry as Harlequin puts away number 3, and that chemistry really leads them to a lot of solid victories, as we saw 2 go on the kickoff, and Harlequin just bangs it right side.
A 7-0 run for Northeastern. Proskus DC, it's a power play now for Xavier.
Yeah, 3v2. This is going to be a big chance now for the Musketeers. They have a chance to really chip away at this 3-0 lead. Scrib out to Irish, blocked by Harlequin, but Prosk is already back. He's immediately demoed by Scrib. Welcome back to the lobby.
Prosk is out in kickoff, so it actually bought him extra time to watch the replay for him to restart the game, which honestly, not the greatest thing for Xavier, but the lead remains 3-0 for the Huskies.
Yeah, not able to take advantage. Harlequin, nice save out here. Scrib, another big 50. Ange will take this far side, a miss for Irish. Angebro trying to get it middle, but will be shut down again by Galaxy. Prosk bumped out, still wins it to the backboard. Will be played away nicely by Xavier, but I mean, there's still a lot of time for the Musketeers to get back in it, but we are just seeing Northeastern, again, taking control, and ultimately, I mean, we have seen now, over 8 minutes of shutout Rocket League. Xavier's not been able to break through, and obviously Northeastern, they've scored 7 in a row now.
1:45 to go. Irish kill for his efforts there. Scrib trying for a 50, but what's going to stop this Northeastern defense? Xavier just have not been able to make it work, and then finally, Scrib finds the first goal since game 1.
Yeah, able to turn one in here. Ultimately, just a great 50 from Galaxy. You can see Prosk and Angebro both kind of awkward with not enough. Bruce and Scrib doing a great job taking advantage of that awkwardness for the Musketeers. Gets them one. Still time to get more, but again, keeping that pressure up, not letting Northeastern get too comfortable. That's a great way to start.
Absolutely, it is. We saw 14 games tonight. I don't quite think we're going to get to 21 by the end of this one, but Xavier, still greater things have happened. We'll have to see if they can continue this fight with 80 seconds now to go, and they finally get one. You stop the run, you stop the bleeding, but your offense still has to improve from here on.
Yeah, you really do, and I mean it's not easy to do, but you got to be able to do it if you want to win these big matches. Harlequin bump there, Prost chasing down, bumps and demos. Harlequin will be the last back. Gets one touch out, now being chased well. Xavier doing good, trying to create that pressure, but Northeastern stacks it right back here. Could be a big chance for Scrib. 50 boost to work with. Loses his flip in midair. Prosk will knock it down. We're seeing Xavier trying to do their best to really whittle down this defense from NEU, but the Huskies holding strong.
That they have been so far. 30 seconds left on the clock here. Xavier looking for one more just to give him a chance to tie this up with a couple seconds on the clock. With that clear, going to run a lot of time off here for Xavier. Galaxy off the ceiling. Won't get back to it. 20 to play as the Musketeers trying to hold on.
Another good send here, but Harlequin gets it to Ange, and Harlequin will take it right back through the midfield, and that will expire the rest of the time here in game number 3. And Northeastern looking more and more comfortable throughout, but Xavier, they're still showing that they're in it.
That they are. 2-game run now for the Huskies, and we haven't seen anybody win, I guess, outside of that last series. No one has won 3 in a row, but again, we'll see what happens here as Northeastern. A 2-1 start after things went south in the first one.
Yeah, I mean, it was a close game one, obviously, that overtime, and Xavier more than happy to get that first one. We obviously saw that great passing play from Irish and Galaxy, and we haven't seen anything much like that from Xavier going forward, but they got the one. They've, again, shown that they can do it. They can even up this series quickly, but if they let it get to 3-1, it might be out of reach.
Yeah, you did mention that Prost could kind of talk to you pre-game, and it's like, we might throw 1 or 2 games, just the way it kind of goes. And maybe game 1, they just kind of got off to a rocky start, and Xavier took advantage of the opportunities they were given. No,
yeah, it all stemmed from the fact that, they asked what I thought was going to happen in this matchup. I predicted a 4-0 sweep. I did. And Prost immediately all said, no, don't say that, because it's apparently just a thing in North. They always troll at least one. I think they thought it was going to happen later on in the series, but it happened game number 1. So they very well could just get the next 2, shut it down there. But ultimately, I mean, they know that they can give up that 1 and still stay solid. So I don't think they're too worried by any means.
And that's just a 50-50 goal for Harlequin that's going to go right on in, and 16 seconds gone. Northeastern back on top early again.
Yeah, it was a good pass upfield from Angebro, and you saw Galaxy do his best to try and reach it, but Harlequin just kind of forces his way through to get the first one for the Huskies, and now trying to pick up another one. Galaxy storms through the midfield to get one past the middle. Irish is there, but Prosk able to find the clear out, and Xavier, they've just been struggling with their consistency, and Northeastern seem to be speeding up as Andrew finds goal number 2.
30 seconds, and Northeastern quick to put 2 goals on the board, and Xavier can start to feel the hurt and the pain of this Northeastern offense.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more difficult as of right now to try and get back. I mean, we'll see if, again, that will indeed shift, but a miss off the backboard gives Angelo another freebie. 32 seconds, 3-0.
And this is not looking good as Andros got 3 with 32 seconds gone, and Northeastern having their way here in Game 4.
Yeah, ultimately this is just Xavier struggling to, again, keep up with that pace, and Northeastern, again, they're not doing too much. They're just forcing that early pressure, keeping it consistent, and Xavier, they're having that trouble kind of adjusting and adapting, and you know, they still have time to, of course, bring this back. Three goal deficit is, you know, not the end of the world, but again, when it happens, you know, just outside the first 30 seconds, it becomes a little bit more difficult. Here's a wide open net, though. Scribb and Irish both there. They will turn in there first. They cut the lead down to 2.
Well, there's one from Irish again, and he's got a lot of the goals. And 1 minute off the clock, 4 goals, just in 61 seconds. But now Xavier need to turn the tides and make these goals favor them more frequently than the Northeastern.
Yeah, they do indeed. I mean, it's easier said than done. It really is, but there's still time for them to try and get back in it. Galaxy touch will just fall straight to Prosk up off the sidewall, carries it over. Irish wants a double with Scribb. That's a big save there. Angelo ends up sending this one far side. Irish only a pad on the tank, trying to get it over to Scribb. Harlequin will send it down and away. A miss there. The net open for a moment, but Galaxy will be the first one on it to steer it away.
3:30 to go here in game number 4. Xavier still down by 2 here with a lot of clock to play, but Andro long clear back the other way. A rework attempt for Prosk. Just high, the rebound also unable to go.
Yeah, it was a good attempt there for NEU, just not quite able to find that last one. A bit of a team bump there as Andro will take it off the corner. One touch out here, challenged well by Irish, but finds the 50. Prosk looking to snap this one behind Galaxy. He'll just take his time up off the back wall. Find his clear out, reset as well, chasing down Harlequin. He's got the bump. Irish is there. Harlequin recovers and picks up the save.
3:45 to go. Xavier still trailing 2 as the Musketeers just trying to find a way to fight bonus. And, you know, they've shown that they can compete in these series, but can they get the job done is a whole other question.
Yeah, it's proving to be a lot more difficult as of this point, and we'll see if, again, they can really try and reel it back, but not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. And you know, we've seen Northeastern, they've looked more and more dominant as time has gone on. Obviously, Xavier they're still staying close, but kind of just that 1-2 steps behind.
Yeah, that's perfectly put. 2 steps behind is about where Xavier's at, but again, they're about to have one final life to play with in this championship bracket as Northeastern 2 minutes away from a 3-1 lead.
And they are, and now good save from Galaxy as well. Still staying in it, staying present. Now Irish, far side. Angelo, another good cutoff. Just maybe looking to play keep away. Fakes it for Harlequin. Galaxy picking up another save, but you see, we've been saying that quite a bit as Northeastern just have had so much pressure in this one. They've hardly given Xavier and a lot of attempts. Confused Irish going to have one here. Top shelf puts it away, and the Musketeers suddenly back within 1.
They've got some life. 126 to go. They've got a 2-0 run. They left a lot of time on the clock.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, they still got hope in this one. They really do, and we'll see if they can, again, just kind of stabilize going forward. But we'll have to indeed see if they can measure up. Prosk trying to send this one down. Irish, another nice save. Angelo does pick up the boost. Harlequin's got none, and Irish left it. Galaxy dives in, gets a good 50 for Scribb, drops it back down. Galaxy lurking. Angelo clears it away for a moment. Pross there to help with another 50, but we're seeing a lot of pressure being put on by Xavier. Galaxy forced to make another stop. Prosk is lurking, can't get it past Galaxy.
50 seconds to go. Scrib back up top to the key. Couldn't find anything though, Dronis, and now under 45 to go. Xavier needs some life here.
And they really do. They just need to get back on the offensive end, but that proved to be such a tall task here. Scrib gonna have a big opportunity to boom it downfield. Angelo will safely put it to the corner off the backboard. Galaxy turn misses. Will try and stay on it. The quick midfield turn dunked by Harlequin. Trying to catch up to it, at least put something middle. Scrib staying behind it. Pross takes the 50 into the corner as well. You can see the Huskies are just trying to stall.
Yeah, 15 to go. Just don't give anything up. That's, not smart in this game, but one more attempt potentially here for Northeastern to strike and put this game away, but now Xavier maybe a chance here with a second to put.
Yeah, Irish needs to keep it alive, but Angelo will kill it down back into the corner. NEU up 3-1 over Xavier, and this one looks a little bit tougher to get all the way to 7.
That it does, and now Xavier down to their final life of the CCS Championship bracket, Jonas, and what's got to change in the next 3 games if you're Xavier?
I mean, I think one of the biggest things is they just need to keep their pace up. It's always easier said than done, but being able to just stay up front and not get backed into your own side is a huge differential that needs to happen. Obviously, Northeastern out shooting Xavier well, but Xavier's attacks just weren't all too threatening, as they had some solid looks, but ultimately Northeastern were able to get back on defense. They conceded a few, but even so their offense was able to answer back. So I think seeing Xavier just kind of really speed up through the midfield, find more opportunities. Northeastern, we've seen them make mistakes, Nation. They're bound to make a couple more. If you're Xavier, you just got to be there to pounce.
I would agree. I think if you're Xavier, again, you won game 1, you benefited off of mistakes in Northeastern's defense early. You got a great look at the end to finish it, put it away. But now in game 5 here for me, if you're looking for chances, you have to pounce on those opportunities like you just talked about. If Northeastern gives you a chance to score, gives you numbers advantage the other way, you have to score and put it away. Defense also has to hold the line. You can't give up 3 goals to win.
Yeah, we'll see if they can have a little bit of a quicker start here in game number 5, because if not, that'll be all she wrote for the Musketeers here in CCS Season 5. We got to see them really answer back. Irish will find a nice early clear, but Prosk right back into that corner. You can see Northeastern building this early pressure. They like to play ahead. They like to play with that lead. They're hunting for it.
Yeah, the higher this score gets, the more it favors Northeastern. So if Xavier can keep this game to 1, maybe 2 goals for the Huskies, there's a chance to get this to game 6, but Antero's already got 140 seconds in.
Yeah, I mean, just some good pressure here, and I apologize to Samurai in chat. I don't know how I did that, Nation.
He's now your biggest hater.
Free him.
I got it.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be fully honest here. I alt-tabbed for a moment and somehow I timed him out for 10 minutes. I'm so sorry, Samurai. He's back as, you know what? Be happy. Xavier on the board. Confused Irish.
Dude, what is this stream, man? 4:11 to go. Now we got a guy timed out in chat too. Love that.
I didn't mean to, I swear. I clicked, and somehow I've never seen it happen that fast. First minute gone, 1-1 early on. Xavier still again showing that presence at the midfield, and Northeastern again just looking to shut this down here. Don't want to let it go any further. Don't want to give Xavier any more hope. They just want to get things done here and move on to the next round. Keep as much momentum as they can going. Harlequin, nice setup. Pross knocks it down. The Huskies back out in front.
3:37 to go. Prosk gets the easy go ahead there from Harlequin. 2 to jump. It's a wide open net. And Prosk, the captain, gonna put it away.
Yeah, that defense from Xavier, they've just been struggling to really keep up. I mean, we've just been seeing some good looks. Yeah, ultimately, Xavier, they've just really been struggling to answer quickly to that offense, and now looking to get their offense going. Scrib, a good 50 here. Angelo, find one clear out. Irish lobs it up. Prosk has a low boost. Scrib just couldn't quite reach the shot down. Now Harlequin out through the midfield. Takes a demo instead. Andro backboard. Scrib is demoed, and Andro through the smoke will take it and makes it 3-1.
Now, physicality still a factor for this Northeastern offense, and again, we've seen this all night long. This brings you all the way back to the UNT goal from Game 7 earlier, Javelin, with the demo in the box that set up the goal, and the physicality seems to be a leading factor in CCS for a lot of teams to use it to their highest ability, and it's done very well tonight with a whole bunch of bumping and demoing, and typically the teams that are more physical has won tonight.
Yeah, Northeastern is a very physical team. Usually it is Prost kind of taking the helm as the physical player. He really likes to be the one. He even admits that he thinks Harlequin is easily the best player on their roster, and he's aware of that, and he tries to do his best to support Harlequin, kind of clear that path. Angelo doing the same for him and really just opening up more of those opportunities as a captain. He's more than happy in that role, and it has created a lot of success for this Northeastern roster.
They played very well tonight too. The only high seed that has played at a high level the whole entire time. And what can that do for you going into the next round? Whether it is 7th seed Connecticut or 10th seeded Rutgers, but 2:15 to go, and it's Prosk again.
Yeah, I mean, this one, he's just staying in. It gets a good 15. You can see Galaxy, just a huge hesitation there. Could have found the easy touch. Did not think Prosk was just going to keep going and shoot it. That makes it 4-1 Huskies, and things gotten a little bit out of hand here for Xavier. They're going to need a massive comeback.
I guess it'd actually be 6-seeded Pittsburgh or 11-seed Bowling Green, which that series is also an upset watch as Prosk looking for goal 5. Couldn't put it there. There's Antro. There's goal 5. 2 minutes left.
Yeah, he got a little bit of help here. Got a little bit of help from Galaxy, who just made that missed touch off the back. When you can see confused Irish just forced to stop in his tracks, and Angelo more than happy to tap in goal number 5 for the Huskies. But yeah, this one seems to just be falling away for Xavier, and now they got 2 minutes to score 4. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. I think this one might just end here.
That it might is. 2 minutes left to go. Xavier Northeastern, this game is all but over, barring an absolute miracle. Harlequin wants a 6 that he's going to find.
Yeah, just being able to finally find that little bit of space here. Great first touch, the reset, able to get right back on it, and Galaxy just had nowhere to go. Prosk was up in his face as well, and there's a nice put away there. Northeastern really showing out here in game number 5, and they want to show that the high seeds, if you still can dominate.
Yeah, and almost just north of a minute and a half to play here in game number 5. Louisiana Air Force up after a short delay after this. We're also going to swap producers after this is over. So it will be an extra added on couple minutes, and that's a 7th for us trying to take it to Brazil.
Yeah, stamp the passports here. I mean, this just being a blowout to end this series, and Xavier, they're doing their best. They're still trying to stay in, and obviously got the first game, but it looks like it will be a gentleman's sweep for Northeastern, as they seem like they can do no wrong at this point.
Yeah, and they had the rocky start, but once they locked in, this offense really got going. Put a lot of pressure on Xavier early in every single game. Their defense couldn't quite stand up to the pressure of Northeastern. Their offense gave them a chance twice in this series to win and couldn't finish either attempt out. They're going to go down and out in the first round, but not a bad showing at all out of Xavier.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the biggest things is it's just great to see Galaxy, Scrib, and Irish, playing in this tournament. It's great to see Xavier being here. I think that's the big thing. Obviously, they got a tough round 1 matchup as a 14 seed and playing against Northeastern, but ultimately it's great to see him here, even though it might not be the end of their season that they wanted. It's still amazing to see them compete here in this tournament, take a game off of a solid team like Northeastern and keep it competitive, but ultimately things just got a little bit away from them, but it's still a great time to see this team here.
Yeah, when they come back this summer, they're going to remember what this tournament was like a couple months ago, and want to lock in and get back to it, and they're going to have the experience the next time around when they play at the championships as Pro Squad's in eighth. My goodness.
Yeah, why not at this point? And that's a beauty to really end things off. The self pass, keeping things going with the pre-flip, then ending it with the double. No boost left, just one more on the highlight reel, because why not?
Why not? 10 seconds left to play. This will be the final 10 seconds of Xavier's season as Northeastern going to advance like Pitt or Bowling Green.
Yeah, that should be a good matchup between either Pitt or Bowling Green. I mean, hopefully that one will show up and show out, and they'll have a good matchup against Northeastern as well. But the Huskies will advance. The Musketeers, their season is done.
That it is. It's Northeastern gonna be going on the round of 32 next Friday, so we'll see you guys there. The stream continues though after the break.